So, yeah, I'm just, anyone that is struggling with diabetes, I understand it is hard, but
Mm,
you have to remain faithful to God, and He will bring forth a healing in due time, and He will work through what you eat. That's another thing. It can be a progressive healing. The Bible says they were healed as they went
mm-hmm.
about the levels. A lot of them were healed as they went. So as you go along, you will start noticing, wow, my sugars are stabilizing. Wow, I'm feeling really good and clear in my mind. Wow, I'm more gravitational towards vegan than meat. Because I've been really thinking about going vegan because I don't really eat a whole lot of meat now. It
Yeah.
seems like God was just kind of pulling me away from meat. I don't have that same taste. Like I don't eat beef a lot. That's one thing I just couldn't complete. Beef and pork. I don't eat
Mm,
it. I mainly will eat like turkey if I do eat something, or either like a salmon,
mm,
for my protein. But yeah, it's just a accordance to what will work for you. Get with the Holy Spirit, get with God, and He'll show you. He will tell
yeah,
you. Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So I want to go back. When did you have the toe and the leg amputated? How old were you?
Okay, I was mid to late 30s. The toe amputation was the first amputation that I had. That was like 2018 going into 2019.
That's
Um,
long
and that
ago.
was, oh wow, on my left foot. And it was just, I, I think by the time it happened, I knew that they were going to have to remove it. And so I said, well, I can live without a toe, but I just still wanted my toe, and I was like, God, can you just
Oh,
heal it? Can you heal it?
yeah.
And so I just went through that whole process of, letting go of my toe, because I was like, I'm gonna see it again. I'm gonna have a toe again. And you have to live eternally
Mm,
mindful for that. And so that's what I held on to. I went right to my faith, and I made it through that. Then I started to have issues with the ulcer on the bottom of my right foot. And it happened right at the top of 2020 when COVID hit.
oh my God.
So,
So,
it was a struggle because, for a while, the protocol for going to the doctor was we didn't know what to do. And so, once they finally, CDC released the information on what we were to do, by that time it was too late. And I ended up losing it because of, the COVID that was going on, and the emergency rooms wasn't really accepting people and taking people, out of their town to get the
mm,
help that they needed. And
right.
so finally, they shipped me to Emory, where I had my kidney transplant as well. And that's where the amputation happened for my leg. And so, yeah, that's how that happened.
Now, how old were you when you had the kidney transplant?
I was in my early 30s, I believe. Yeah,
So,
I just
it
was young.
30. Wow.
Mhm. Mhm. That was a very, very grueling process. It only took me about 4, maybe 5 years to get my kidney. And the amazing thing that happened was they called me the night before Easter. Now, I don't know if anybody knows about the process of like getting the kidney. You have to be ready on standby, have your bags packed, and you have a certain amount of time to get to the place, or you'll lose your kidney. And
Mm,
so,
wow.
yeah, and so I was out of town when I got the call, and then so my daughter, she was blowing up my phone. She was like, "Mom, Emery's calling you. You got your kidney." And so I made it back home in time enough, packed up, and we were on our way. But that part, the pain from that was really, really hard to get through.
Mm,
Um, and just relearning diet, relearning how to exercise, and all of that was very, very grueling. It took me about 3, 4 months to heal. Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
So, from like 2018 to 2020, you went through a
Mhm.
lot. Well, you went through a lot
I went through that.
all of your life, but that was seems like
Mhm.
a cluster of a lot of stuff going on with
Yeah,
health. Yeah.
it was health wise, and it was really attacks, from the enemy, and as well as my bloodline, things that was in my bloodline that I had no idea of, and they came upon me and against me. So I was just going through these things blindsided, not knowing, and but now, since everything has kind of, the smoke has kind of cleared, and I'm more clear now, and I haven't, getting the mental illness up under control. Depression is a choice sometimes, but then sometimes it just comes upon you, and you are drowned in it. You're just drenched in it, and you then have to understand that God is the God of everything. And depression has a name, and it has to bow to Jesus.
Mm,
And if you have to take the medication for a while, just pray over that medication and ask God, God, let this medication do what it's supposed to do, and
right.
allow me to not be dependent upon it, but more dependent upon you than the medication. This medication has to submit to you because it has a name, you know. And so that I've learned, through some family members, that is how you go about that process. If you have to take medication,
Yeah.
pray over it. Pray over it. God
Mhm.
will work through medication sometimes. He heals the way that He knows you need it, and
Right.
He heals the way that He knows He's going to get the glory. So we can't get so trapped up in, oh well, God didn't do it like this, and He didn't say it this way. No, no, no. Just submit to God. Submit to God, and
Mm,
He will do it, because He already made a plan for us through Jesus Christ's blood shed for us, and we have to rest in that. Find a place of rest in that, and He'll bring forth healing. Yeah.
and then now your sister, now
Mhm.
when did she pass away? How old were you when she passed away?
Oh wow, that was a pivotal turn in my life. I got pregnant when I was 17 with my daughter, and so I was in my last year of high school. So I was almost like 8 9 months pregnant when I graduated. So uh, that was that. Then my dad at that time, he got released from prison, and he was at my graduation. I was really shocked. And so he came to my graduation, and then I went in to have my baby around June. So we graduate like in May, in my little small town called Cochran, Georgia. It's a small town below Macon. People know Macon, Atlanta. I'm in like the middle Georgia area: Warner Robins, Eastman, Dublin, Cochran.
Mhm.
And so my sister, she had been struggling uh, with not Hodgkin's lymphoma. She went to school the whole while. She was going through chemo.
Mhm.
She lost her hair. She wore a wig. She just was unstoppable. She didn't let it deter her. When she began to do her classes at Mercer, she did like 2 years at Middle Georgia College, which is a historical site here in Cochran, Georgia. It's now Middle Georgia University. Um, when she went through her 2 years there, she transferred to Mercer. And so they had an extension office in Eastman at the time. I don't know if it's still there, but we would go back and forth to Eastman. She had night classes. And so I watched the resilience of my sister. She went through a lot. Um, and I helped her a lot with getting her degree. I was like her parapro while she was doing that. And so I learned from my sister how to be resilient. I
Uh,
really did. Yeah, I learned that. I learned her from her to be assertive.
mhm.
I learned from her how to research things, like just going looking in a book, not just online. Just reading was already a passion of mine. I just read. Um,
Mhm.
and so she just, by the time she got through with chemo, she went right into radiation.
Mhm.
Um, and that the lymph nodes that they found were in her neck. And so they I don't know if they did any surgery. I'm not sure. I don't think they did. But she did have to end up having a bone marrow transplant, and she had that done. And she went into remission, and everything was good. Then she started to have problems with her lungs because of the radiation. So really, what happened to her? Uh, she started to have pulmonary hypertension in her lungs. So she ended up paralyzed pretty much from the waist down.
Oh wow.
Yeah, by the time she graduated from Mercer. and she's still in a wheelchair. She rolled across that stage. She got her degree, and some months later, yeah, some months later, she was in hospice, and they had to take her to a place called Vincor in Atlanta. And
Mm.
so she was on a ventilator for a while, but I do remember the last words that she said to me before she passed on, and it was a little bit after I had my daughter. And so my daughter was around 2, 3 months at the time, and she didn't get to see my daughter before
Mm.
she went into a hospice. She did the feeding and changing for me sometimes, and that thing. So I look back on that, and I'm like, I'm so grateful that my daughter did at least get to see her. No, she don't remember her, of course, but she did get to see her niece. And so she was on the ventilator, and I called her, or she called me, I can't remember. And so my nickname is Nene in the family. So she told me between breaths, she said, "Nene, you have your own life to live it." And I was like, wow. Yeah, I was like, okay, Marcy. In my mind, I'm like, I know that. I do have my own life, but she knew that for years I was kind of like living in her shadow, because my sister was just brilliant in school. She was a brilliant mind. She was extremely smart. She was part of Beta Club. She was part of FBLA. She was in band. She was extremely active, very popular in school. And so me, I was more like behind, kind of like behind her, shy girl,
So
you
I
know.
went.
Yeah,
You
right,
were,
right.
yeah, yep.
And so I was
The
nerdy,
popular one.
but yeah, 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 yeah. And so I was nerdy because I was always a bookworm.
Mm.
And kids would look at me like, she's strange. She already is reading a book. Like, what's wrong with her? She never talks to anybody like that. I didn't come out of that shell until high school. But that year that my sister passed away, I graduated from high school. I had my first child, and then 3 months later, my sister passed on.
Oh.
And it kind of set me on a rip, because I was like, I'm a new mother, I'm going to college,
And your
and
parents died.
yeah, and I was working a full time job at that time and a part time job, and
Mm.
so it was like a lot on me. I was like, ugh. And at the time, I didn't have the relationship that I needed to have with God. It was just very religious. It was like say a prayer here and there. I'm living my life,
Right.
pretty much. But I soon came to find out that you can't live your life without God.
Mm.
If you try, you're going to end up right before Him, and He's going to teach you how to really live life. So a lot of it was very, very pivotal for me at that time. And I look back and I say, my goodness, God was molding me for leadership. And I was like, because being a mother is a leader,
Ah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to lead your household. You do. You have
Mm.
to, especially if you're a single parent, because you're filling both roles.
Mm.
And I never can do what a man can do, but God will anoint me like a Deborah to get the job done, or Esther to get the job done. So um, I just thank God for birthing those anointings in me, the Deborah and Esther anointing. Um, so this year, once I get myself all back together, I'm going to go back to school and pursue a degree,
Yeah.
to pursue a degree in counseling, because I do it for free right now, because
Yeah. You
everybody
don't
get
have that
exactly, exactly,
in your
exactly.
voice. And I said this to Joyce too in another broadcast. She has it too.
Hmm.
Got that power in your voice. Like I could see you on a stage, like just taking over the audience. Like
Oh my goodness.
yeah, there's that power in your voice. Like I can sense it. Like you're holding back right now. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah,
are on
I am.
stage, like it would be like a lot of strength, a lot of power just coming out. Like it'd just be so different if it were live. Absolutely.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I receive that. I do.
Hear it.
Because
Hear
yeah,
you on
yeah,
stage, like just blowing everyone away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just confirming a lot. My mom, it's like when people pass on, and if they didn't walk fully in their gift and in their mantle, that mantle and that gift, you can utilize that,
Mm.
and you can keep the legacy going through them. So I know my mom's legacy, my sister's legacy, and even my dad's legacy um, has got to come forth, and it is going to be shared throughout me and my children. So
Wow.
we're going to, I know that God has something major for them as well. And I can get so lost in what God has for me, but I have to realize that they're the next generation. So that I have to pour into them um, what needs to be poured into them. Like my son, he's a young man, and I have to pour into him what the Bible says about you, who you are, because there's so many people in society trying to tell them who they are
Oh
instead
yeah.
of them knowing exactly knowing who they are. So I know that I am responsible to them for that, and I don't take that lightly. You know,
Mm.
uh, I wasn't gonna get on your show and preach, but
But
I
yeah,
was definitely.
you're to preach. Like it's just so in you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is, and it's gonna come forth in due time, due season. I am quite sure once I finish my book that the motivational speaking thing, can, just offers will come in, and then I'm in no rush because I know that what God has for me is for me, and
Yeah.
nobody, no devil, no nothing can come against that when you got all heaven backing you. It's almost to the point of Elijah and Elisha when they were standing on the mountain, and Elijah, he saw the host of angels. Elisha couldn't see it. And so Elijah, being his mentor, prayed for him, Lord, open his eyes so that he can see just who's behind him, who's backing you. And so when he prayed, that's when his vision came and he saw the heavenly host. So I believe this is a time of visitation for us,
Yeah.
the believers. That we're just going to find out. We're going to find out just who God is. It's
Mm.
not going to be just read a chapter or two in the Bible and we call it that, and we don't get the revelation. We've got to start praying for that revelation to come forth because you live out of that. That's vital. And so when God speaks a revelation to me, if he wakes me up in a dream, I don't care. I'm getting up and I'm writing it down because it is
Yeah.
important. I do dream prophetically. My daughter, she's really the prophetic dreamer. My son, he's a prophet, but he don't know yet. Because he's not
Like
like those. Yeah, he don't know yet, and I'm looking at him like you are very secluded. You don't like going anywhere, and you're a deep thinker, and I'm like, I told him like you're a prophet.
actually, yeah, that's me. Like I'm the deep thinker. The discernment. Like I can't. I
Yes,
don't do
yes.
things. I'm like, how do you not see this? And it's
Exactly, because they don't
and I'm
have the
very
eye.
prophetic, but it's just part of
That seer anointing, that
yeah,
seer anointing. Yeah, and so God is birthing that in me too as well. So it's multiple things that I know that God has multiple assignments for me. So I'm just going to sit at His feet and just let Him reveal them to me
what you need to do.
as He sees fit. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not rushing Him because I just I want to do it and I want to do it unto Him, and He gets the glory.
Yeah.
That I'm just a vessel. I'm just a vessel. You
Right.
know, it's too many people trying to get His glory, and I'm listen. I don't want to. He said He'll share it with no one. So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to share it with Him. Just let Him get all the glory. Let Him get all the praise for it. I just was obedient and submitted myself to Him because He's
Right.
God. And He's worthy to be praised. He made us. He made me, and He carried me through all of that stuff. And even now, things that come, He's carrying me through that. So He is so faithful. He's so faithful, and
Like,
I'm just, yeah, He's so faithful. He really is, and
mm-hmm.
His track record shows that. So we just have to believe. We
Yeah.
have to believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder. He
Yeah.
said, "I come with my great reward." And you just like Abraham. You have to live by that covenant. Understand that that covenant is yours. You are the seed of Abraham. You
Yeah.
know, and speak that over your life daily,
Yeah.
daily. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So last question. Let me see if anybody in the audience has any questions. We kind of touched upon this a little bit, but how did losing your leg affect you? I mean, that must be really difficult. And it wasn't that long ago.
No, I'm coming up on 2 years now.
Yeah.
Um, the initial losing it, I remember before I went in and I was laying in my room, and it had gotten to the point where I could smell the gangrene. It had
Oh,
gotten to that point, yeah.
wow.
And so I laid there and I said, God, I said, this is such an ugly thing. I said, but I trust you.
Mm,
I trust you. And I know I'm gonna lose my leg. I know I'm gonna get upset about it. I know I'm gonna be depressed about it. But I trust you.
wow.
I know that. And so I laid there and I accept the fact. I said, I don't know exactly how much of my leg I'm gonna lose. I said, but you get the glory out of my life. One leg, two legs. God is able. He
Mm-hmm.
made my body. He's able to give me another leg. He has body parts in heaven. And if I submit and start to believe and cultivate that atmosphere, he's going to do just that. He said, you have not because you ask not.
Mm,
Right in there, he has to do his will. When you remind him of his word and you continually keep doing that and continually to cultivate that relationship with God, he will do what you are asking of him.
yeah.
So, and I'm even in that space where if he don't do it on this side, I know for sure he gonna do it on the other. So, either way, God, you still get the glory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I lost my leg, Paula, it was hard at first. It took me like 3 days to actually look at my leg. And when I looked at my leg, I just broke down. Then I felt the depression coming, and I was like, no, I'm not going to sit here and give up. No, I'm not going to sit here and just feel sorry for myself. I'm going to just encourage myself in the Lord. And so I remember I had bought a Joyce Meyer Bible not too long before actually this started to happen. And so I just began to just read the scriptures, fill myself with the word, create an atmosphere of worship, just making sure that I was keeping God first. And so I kept doing what I knew to do. I kept giving, I kept tithing, I kept fasting, I kept praying, I kept reading the word. I just kept doing it. And I remember when I did finally make it to rehab, I was at Emory, and so across the street was the rehab facility. The doctor, the admitting doctor, he came in, and I remember he asked me, he said, so how do you really feel? And I looked at him and I said, I feel lost. And I started to cry. And so he was like, I understand. He said, but you're not going to always feel like that. It's not going to be like that always. And so I said, yeah, you're right. I said, but right now I feel lost. I
Mm,
really do. Because the reason why I was feeling displaced and lost is because, I was going through the grieving process
mm,
of losing something that I was born with. Um, and then thinking that you're going to go throughout your whole life with everything that you came into the world with, not knowing that that was going to be a part of my future.
mm,
I had to submit all of that to God. And I knew that, my mind was going to go places at times that I didn't want it to go. But even in that, Paula, I still learned how to bless the Lord. I still learned how to give him glory, give him praise, and
that's
honor
amazing.
him.
Yeah.
Even in a time of losing a leg, because it could have been way worse. It
Yeah.
could have been. Um, just now, earlier this, like a few months back, my left leg started to show signs of what my right leg was doing. And I said, no, 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 devil.
Yeah.
You're not faking it this time. No, no, no. And so I saw it. We caught it in time. And so now, I have a team of doctors that is going to help me maintain my levels in my blood glucose and get me on the right track to where I can live out the rest of my days in peace and it will be well with me. So yeah, I went through that grieving process. Some days I still do.
Right.
I'm going to be really honest with you. Some days I'll look at my leg and be like, "Oh my God," because the pain that you go through with the phantom limb, all of that stuff is very, very taxing on your mind because it's your mind that's in pain. And so, just this year, early this year, I was remembering things from the surgery. My body was, and so it was the nerve endings was sending signals to my body of
Oh,
feeling like It
Yeah.
was like I could feel the actual amputation happening. And so it was a lot of coming against those thoughts because I knew the enemy was using that against me in my mind. So I just kept on. I said, no, God, And if I needed help, I reached out because I knew I couldn't just pray myself up out of that because my spirit man wasn't strong enough. And
Yeah.
so, if you need help, if you have people in your family or you have friends that go to church, if you need help, you reach out for that help. Do not sit there prideful and, oh, I'm good. God got it. No, you need somebody to pray you through.
Right.
If you can't pray for yourself, Jesus is interceding for you. Yes, he will put you on the heart of someone else. Somebody might call you. You never know how it might happen. But if nobody does, you reach out. You
Yeah.
reach out because nobody won't know if you don't open your mouth.
Yeah.
So I've learned that, and as well because the enemy has tried to keep me silent for years. Um,
Well, not anymore.
Thank God. Yeah, he has done that. So I've even in doing this, I've overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony
Amen.
as well. Yeah.
We've only got about 5 minutes left, so I'm just, if anybody has quick questions, and then you can just say how people can reach you. So anybody out there, do you have any quick questions for Morisha? I'll watch the chat really quick here. While we're waiting, I'll just say before Morisha says how you can reach her, I'll just say for me, you guys can find me at EnrichUrHealth.com. This is Overcoming Illness. It's going to be on every Sunday night at 7 p.m. I have a book that I did, but God, I'm Still Here. So if you want that, you can get it on my website. I'm trying to get it on there. Oh, well, that's okay. There we go. But God, here, you can get that on my website, EnrichUrHealth.com. I have digital ebooks and recipe books that help with people that need to eat gluten-free, dairy-free, low sugar. So if you have health issues, food allergies, food sensitivities, can't lose weight, things like that, please reach out to me. You can reach me on Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger. I'll answer either one. And we can do like a free consult. I don't see any questions. So anybody have any questions or comments? Jackie said, Prophet Jackie says, blessings, woman of God. Thank you, Jackie, for being on. Any quick questions or comments? And then I want to let Morisha know before we end how you can reach her and what she's got going on. I don't see any questions. So go ahead. How can we reach you on?
Oh yeah.
You have a book coming. So how do we get your book? Is it going to be pre-sold? What's going on?
I'm not sure yet as far as how I'm going to be doing that. I've got to finish first. I'm going to probably doing yeah, the first book I know is going to be prayers. God has gotten me to go back to a lot of my old journals, and so I'm pulling prayers from that down through the years. Prayer journals that have really, really helped me in seasons of the being in the valley. So basically, you can reach me the same way: Instagram, Morticia Renee, 81 underscore 81, I believe it is. And then on Facebook, just my name, Morisha Bloodworth. I really don't do Snapchat. I don't really do TikTok as of yet.
Yeah.
I have to get my tech team, which is my daughter, to get me set up with all of that stuff. But yeah, you can reach me on just a regular Facebook and Instagram. So if you have any questions for me, or if you just need prayer or whatever, maybe the case may be, I'm available to serve in those arenas.
Well, I want to thank you again for being on. I mean, you almost had me in tears with just reading your bio and just all that you've been through.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we need to do a part 2. Like an hour wasn't enough.
Oh, wow. Well, whenever you're ready, you let me know.
Yeah, maybe when your book comes out, we'll do a part 2.
Yeah.
But at least I am looking for other guests to come on. So guests, sponsors, I'm looking for you guys. So just please reach out to me, Instagram, Facebook Messenger. That's the easiest way. And that's it for tonight. So again for being on, Morisha. If anybody has a quick question, I'll give you one last shot, comment, question. Got about 1 second, and we have to end it. But again, this was just amazing. I mean, I really have to watch the replay just to hear it all again. So thanks again for your yes. I'm sure there's people out there. This was just mind blowing, and I thank everybody watching and the people that watch the replay. Definitely.
Yes. Blessings to everyone. Yes.
All right. Well, we will end the broadcast, and please forgive me. I don't have all the tech down yet. So
it's coming, Paula. It's coming.
Yeah. We'll have a little bit more TV show type stuff, but I'm just not there yet. So please forgive me. But thank you so much for watching and being on tonight. This was amazing. Go back and watch the replay because there was a lot said tonight. So thank you again, Morisha. Bless you. Have a blessed.
See you
See you next time.
Everyone. All right. Bye-bye.